Welcome to episode 4 of the Avgeeks Assemble Podcast. I'm Andrew, once again, and I'm your host for this week. This episode is very exciting because if you heard our clues in episode 3, which hopefully you did listen to, and managed to guess our guest, you will know why it's such an exciting one. Before we do get to the main event, we have a few items on our agenda. Firstly, it's to thank you all once again for the fantastic feedback from our F15 episode with Robin a couple of weeks back. We really enjoyed recording it. We've heard the feedback and you guys really enjoyed listening to it. So thank you. Keep up the feedback and we will keep up trying to do our best for you guys with these podcasts. If you haven't heard it, please go back and give it a listen on either YouTube or Spotify. And it must be said that we do hear you. We will be looking to add the podcast to other podcast app platforms. So thank you again for all the brilliant feedback. So with me this week to speak to our special guest are Ben.
Hi there.
And Tom.
Hello there.
How are we, chaps? We all right?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, doing all right.
Nice. So before we get into everything, chaps, I thought we'd just have a little talk. Obviously, last week we spoke about the bad news about, obviously, air shows. Not last week, last podcast, about air shows and Fairford and things like that. But since then, there's been some exciting online news, I guess you could call it. So with the launch of COAP, which obviously for those who aren't aware, it's the Centre of Aviation Photography. I mean, we've all been looking at it. We've all seen it. Guys, what are your general thoughts on it so far, Ben?
Well, I was lucky enough to sign up on the launch date, which was on Saturday last week, and along with quite a lot of other people around the world. And it's an absolutely amazing website that has been set up by Rich Cooper and the team there at Centre of Aviation Photography. The content on there is brilliant, with more stuff upcoming, more hints and tips. Just joined up the merge on Facebook, which is the social media side of it. And it's an absolutely amazing atmosphere. There is there's no toxic atmosphere there. It's just purely aviation photographers, enthusiasts, sharing their work, sharing hints, tips, everything like that. Seeing stuff from all over the world, America, Italy, France, Japan, which is incredible to see that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously back home here in the UK, especially at Lakenheath. But yeah, there's a lot more to come. So if you haven't already, this is like a shameless plug. No, I'm not getting paid for it either. If you haven't joined up already, I would recommend joining up. It's going to be a big thing, and like I say, kudos to Rich and the team at COAP.
Yeah. No, fair play to them, because it is very impressive looking. And to be honest, it's only the beginning. So I can only assume that as it grows, it will get better and better as well. So that's good. But yeah, so from all of us at AV Geeks, Rich and the other guys at COAP, best of luck with it all. And we're looking to seeing what you've got. Before we carry on, Tom, I did just want to ask you about your fundraiser that you're doing this month. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So this month I'm running 100 kilometres for cancer research. So
nice.
Haven't set a target as of yet. We're on track so far. We've raised thereabouts £500.
Nice.
So yeah, we've ran. Well, let me think. I think it's about. We've got about 55 kilometres remaining, and we've still got half the month to go. But yeah, no, the support's been brilliant. Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, nice one. Have you got what's it on? Is there a link to the page or anything? Is it what is it? Where is it?
Yeah, so you can find the link in my Instagram page bio or on Facebook, but it's on Just Giving.
Just Giving. Okay.
Just Giving.
Okay, so for like we say, for anyone interested, as Tom just said, he's running 100k this month to raise money for was it cancer research? Did you say?
Cancer research, yeah.
Cancer research. So if you are interested, if you want to keep up to date with how he's doing, and you want to help get those numbers up, donate any money, or even just send a message, because I know obviously times are tough at the moment. If you want to send over some, some good energy and some positive vibes for Tom, head over to his page and let him know. But yeah, thank you for that, guys. So before we introduce our guest for this episode, we just want to emphasize once again that our opinions are entirely our own, and that does go for any of our guests either today or in the future. Now that's out of the way, it is time for our guest to join us on this flight. We're still not quite sure on the final destination, but we'll see where it goes. So here we go, the big reveal. With us today is United States Air Force Captain Andrew Munoz, who is a former 494th Fighter Squadron F15 E Strike Eagle pilot, and is now with the 335th Fighter Squadron back in the States. So, as he is more widely known as a sort of alter ego, Scoff the Duck. Hello, Andrew, or Scoff.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me.
An absolute pleasure and an honor for sure. How are you? Are you all right?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How about you guys?
Yeah, good. And to be honest with you, mate, we've been very excited for this podcast. So thank you for joining us.
Well, thanks again for having me. It's an absolute honor, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No worries. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into aviation, how you ended up as a Strike Eagle pilot, and are you into your photography at all?
Yeah, so I'm an Army brat. My father was my father and mother were both in the Army.
Oh, wow.
And my dad was a Special Forces combat engineer, and I was born and raised on an Army base here at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And I spent a lot of time with my dad on base. And the stem of my aviation stemmed from basically there was an Air Force base that was attached to the Army base called Pope Air Force Base. And all the time that I spent growing up on the Army base, I watched airplanes taking off. There were times there was a playground at the end of the runway where my dad would drop me off on the playground, and I'd spend time there, and I would just sit instead of playing on the equipment. I'd sit on the bench and I'd sit there and watch the runway. I'd overlook the runway, and I'd watch all the planes come in and take off. And from a young age, I always knew that I wanted to be a pilot. I knew that I wanted to fly, and my eyes always looked to the sky. And anytime a plane flew over, I just stopped, and that was my dream. So it started with a dream, and I had a great foundation that raised me to believe and know that dreams can become true. So I did everything that I could to make my dreams come true. So I went to the Air Force Academy. That was going to be my best chance to become a pilot. And I got a pilot slot, went through pilot training. I knew going through pilot training and signing up to be a member of the armed forces that what I wanted to do was help the people on the ground that needed help. So my dad told me many stories, and I had a lot of people tell me growing up about how they thought, the end was near, and then here came air power coming over, and it gave them strength. It gave them, encouragement, and it made them feel fearless. And I wanted to be one of those guys that helped those guys on the ground. So I wanted to pursue in a career in stopping bad people from trying to affect the way we live our lives. And then I found myself in the mighty Strike Eagle. So that's how I became a pilot. That's a little the summary of how I became to where I am now.
That's cool.
And yes, I love photography. I love, especially the time I spent in England. All the enthusiasts and the love for aviation made me appreciate everything that I do even more. And I just love to see all the photos and all the passion for aviation. I myself, I'm not the best photographer. Probably the best photos I take are with my iPhone of my daughter. But I love to take pictures. It's fun for me. But I appreciate. I find more appreciation out of the photos that you guys take.
Nice. Which I'm sure there are plenty of them.
And they're a lot better than what I can do with an iPhone. So.
You know what? I dread to imagine how many pictures you're tagged in a day. Is it a daily occurrence? I'm assuming.
It is, and there's always a new enthusiast that just pops out of nowhere and tags me in 100 photos, and it's great. I love it.
Nice. All right, so it doesn't get annoying then. That's good to hear.
Not at all. No.
Oh, ideal. Have you ever thought of maybe dabbling in photography yourself, or you just obviously, like you say, you prefer seeing it?
So here's something that I don't tell a lot of people. So you guys are going to get a little inside look about me. When I started pilot training, I found out and I saw an ad for iPhoneography, which was an up and coming, I guess, online class. And I had to wait a year to start pilot training. And I thought, hey, why not? I'll enroll in something, try and make myself better, and took a class on specifically photography around an iPhone. So,
wow.
I learned the basics, but obviously none of the high-tech gear. But I've always scroll through and I see a nice camera and do some research on it, and maybe someday in the future. But, yeah.
Nice. Ben, I notice you're not saying anything bad about iPhones and Apple right now. Is there a reason behind that? Or,
Yeah, well, you want to keep the guests sweet, Yeah, no, Apple's a fantastic product, and,
It's painful to say that, isn't it?
Yeah, right. No, that's quite cool, though. I mean, look, if that's what you got and that's what you enjoy, a lot of us, that's where we started anyway, was our phones. And to be fair, with phones nowadays, they do take some cracking pictures, so we can't really judge them for that. Let's get on to a little icebreaker. Tom, do you want to take this one away?
Yeah. So the best way that we thought we'd get to know our guest. We're going to play a little game, a little icebreaker game. So it's a rapid fire, this or that round. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. You ready for that, Pañic?
I got a full disclosure. Anybody that knows me, I talk a lot, so I'll try and be as rapid as I can.
I don't think there's a time limit, so I think you should be all right.
Right on.
Right, let's roll then. So, number one, tea or coffee?
Coffee. Gotta have my coffee.
Yeah.
That's it. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Definitely a dog guy.
Didn't even hesitate there.
No.
You can't beat a dog, can you? Instagram or Facebook?
You got to do it for the gram.
Yeah.
That's it. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
Nice.
Music or podcast?
Music. I'm a huge music buff.
Oh, hang on. So why have we got you on here then? No, I'm joking.
The big one here, touching on what we were on about, just iOS or Android?
Yeah, definitely iOS.
Right answer. Health food or junk food?
Oh, I gotta go with junk food.
Yeah.
Can't blame you. Restaurant or nightclub?
I'm getting old, so I got to go with the restaurant.
I'm with you the whole way on that one, to be fair. I'm actually with you, and I get judged for that. I'm 27 years old, and apparently I say I'm too old for that, and then I get judged for it. So,
Football or basketball?
Football.
I'm assuming that's American football.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's both.
Oh, right.
I was ready for it. Yeah, both. I grew up playing soccer.
Yeah.
I loved my football while I was there. Okay. But I'm definitely a huge American football fan as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Just out of interest, teams that you support?
Man City. Oh, I know. I'm sorry.
Controversial, that is.
Adventure vacation or relaxing vacation?
Adventure, definitely.
Adventures are great,
Yeah,
Can't
always
beat 'em,
looking for
can
the
you?
next big thrill.
That's it, yeah. This is an interesting one. I'll try to catch you out. Blue or red?
Easy, red.
And Mad Hatters or Panthers?
Love my Panthers. Bleed red.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lakenheath or Seymour Johnson?
This is a tough one. So being at Lakenheath was a blessing, and I loved every minute that I was there, and it was an awesome opportunity. But I grew up an hour from Seymour Johnson. I was born and raised, and spent most of my life here. So I'm happy to be home. I'm gonna have to go Seymour.
That's a good answer. F-15 or F-35?
Oof.
Have you seen the loadout of an F-15?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I'm gonna have to go with F-15.
that's it.
Yeah.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one as well.
Yeah, well, I agree. TV or book?
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TV. Very sure on that one. Cinema or theatre?
Cinema.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for them to open up, and we can all get back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
mean,
it,
we're
yeah.
all eagerly awaiting the release of Top Gun 2, surely.
Oh,
We had a lot of
course.
plans. Those plans keep getting postponed, but I'm excited for it. Can't wait. I know it's the Navy, but we're not going to hold it against them. They make it
Right, the next one then. Winter or summer?
Summer.
Yeah.
Summer. I'm definitely cold blooded, and I got to have my sunshine.
Can't beat it. Can't beat the summer.
Yeah.
Mac or PC?
I gotta go with Mac.
Yeah.
Apple makes a good
That's it,
product. Yeah.
And then another tough one here. 494th or 335th?
Okay, I got to pass on this one, because if I answer either way, I'm crucified. So I'm gonna have to
that's
pass
the
on that one.
diplomatic answer.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can put an edit in and say that he said the 494.
Final three now. Beer or wine?
Beer.
Beer.
No shame. I love Coors Light.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All
I get made fun of a lot for it, but Coors Light, I love it.
Hey, listen, this is a no judgment zone most of the
All
time.
right, good.
Next one, car or bike? You like your bikes,
Bike.
don't you?
Yeah, I do. Bike, two-wheeled machines and F-15s.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that saying. That
Doesn't get any better, does it?
That is.
And then the last one, ducks or geese?
That's an easy one, Tom. It's definitely ducks. Definitely ducks.
Brilliant.
Nice. Yeah. So, well, there we go. We've got to know you a little bit better with that icebreaker. Some interesting answers. So fair play to you. And, yeah, no, fair play. So let's talk about your favorite places that you visited during your time with the United States Air Force. Have you got anything that stands out at all, or?
Oh, absolutely. I tell this all the time. Tell this story all the time. I mean, I traveled all through Europe, all through the UK, and the best place that I visited with one of my best friends was the Mock Loop. We went and we camped out at the Mock Loop, and it stems from one of the reasons why I wanted to come to Lakenheath was so I could get the opportunity to fly through the Mock Loop, and it took me maybe 2.5 years before I actually got to fly through.
Okay.
And
Blimey, yeah.
it was very funny. It's a funny story because I tried maybe 7 times, and the weather just didn't help out, and we would plan it and go out there, and we never break out of the clouds, and so we'd have to abort the low level, and I got frustrated because went on the first deployment and then came back, and the brand new lieutenants that had just showed up in the squadron on their very first flight, their flight was going through the mock loop, and I'd had it. And I had a buddy of mine that flies C-130s in the States, and he came and visited us, and I said, you know what, the weather looks good. I had taken time off, and we were sitting there, and I go, man, you know what we should do? We should, because he was also a mock loop fan, and I said, Friday, there's not a cloud forecasted in the sky. I know that fighter squadrons go through the loop on Fridays, fast jet Fridays. We gotta go to the mock loop. Let's go camp out. And so we did all the planning. We deep dove in the internet and found everything, all the tricks. And we went and we camped out at the mock loop, and it was the most amazing experience I had while I was there in places that I visited. Unfortunately, it was when the RAF was banned from flying through, but we got to see a 2-ship of Strike Eagles fly through at 10 a.m. in the morning, and we had a blast. It was an amazing time. The landscape, camping out, it was great. It was great.
See, that's cool. I mean, because like I say, I've said previously, I've still not actually been to the Mac Loop. So the fact that you've done it in both, as viewing and doing, that is cool. And I'll tell you what, to be fair, that's quite nice that of all the places you've been to, that's the one that stands out. That is really cool.
Oh, I've been all over, and it was, it was one of those things that, like I talked about, make your dreams come true. And I wanted to go to the Mac Loop, and if it was either in a jet or if it was with my 2 feet, I was going to make it happen, and we made it happen. So yeah, it was an awesome time.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the first time I get to experience it, to be fair. But that's when.
Well, I hope it happens soon.
Yeah. So if you, obviously that's a low level flying. Do you do much of that elsewhere as well? Like, obviously I know you do it in the States, but have you done it elsewhere as well, or?
Oh yeah. I've done it all over. I know that the RAF, their initial qualification is immediately down to 300 feet. From what I've told, in the Air Force, our initial qualification is only down to 500. I went through my upgrade training to go down to 300 feet in Saudi Arabia. So I've low flown through all through the Middle East on training. Yeah, I've done it here in the States, and then all over the UK as well.
I mean, before we get to the next question, I just have to ask, what's it like flying a fast jet at 300 feet? What is that like?
Adrenaline, pure adrenaline. It's one of those 1v1 kind of things of it's either you or the ground, but you want to get as close to it as you can, and it's something that makes you feel alive. That's the best, easiest way I can describe it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, because like I say, I can't even fathom what it must be like, so it's interesting to hear it firsthand. It's amazing to hear, so thank you.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's a great time. It's especially in the Strike Eagle, that's one of the places where we like to live, is down low.
Nice. Nice.
Pañic, have you ever done an air show in the UK, States, or in Europe, or have you ever done a fly pass, or have you been involved in planning or anything like that?
Yeah, I haven't done a fly pass in the UK. I did the family day at Marham. I believe that was in 2019. I think March of 2019. We did the family day, and I led a 2-ship in, and we did a static display. So not really a fly pass, but we did the static display there. Okay. And it was awesome, very welcoming, and got to spread the love of the Strike Eagle a little bit there. The most pure fly pass that I could say that I took part of, we were stationed on our deployment. This was beginning of 2020. We supported the 2020 Kuwait Air Show. We were in Saudi, and we did a 4-day flight. Every day we took off out of Saudi, and we would aerial refuel, and we would drop into the air show and we would do a small demonstration. The Strike Eagle doesn't really have a demonstration team, so we do what we can whenever we're allotted one of these abilities to go demonstrate the capabilities. And we basically put on a small demonstration from what we're allowed to do. But the 2020 Kuwaiti Air Show, it was about 75,000 people over 4 days, where we got to, drop in and show off the Strike Eagle a little bit.
Nice. Okay, that's again really nice insight. Because again, we usually see it from the ground, so it's nice to hear it from the aerial view side of things. So that's seriously cool.
Well, I'd never really took in a fly pass before, so it was interesting to me when we were trying to think about it from the air, because obviously I've been to fly pass on the ground, but thinking about where's our action point and trying to, envision where is stage center and where do you want the action to happen was something that I'd never thought about in flights past, of like, where do we want, the action to take place, or at what speed do we want to be right at when, you're in the middle of the air show, so that everybody can get the best effect. It was different for us being in the cockpit, trying to, make sure that it was a perfect show. Being a 2-person jet, it was great to make sure that I could look forward and, just see your airspeed, your altitude, and where you were, but actually having somebody that's looking out and being like, go now, so that, right at the stage center, they could call the action point to, do an unrestricted climb or, dive in to do, a small demonstration.
Yeah, no, that's cool, because obviously a lot, or not all of them, but a lot of the stuff that we see at air shows at the moment are, single seat displays. So obviously to do all of that you've just, explained must be one hell of a task to carry out.
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. And the craziest part about the experience was that we were in the desert and I hadn't seen grass in a very long time, but the Kuwait approach end to their main runway has Kuwait spelled out in grass, and we were doing the satellite imagery, review, and I said, no way that's grass. And sure enough, you look out and there's Kuwait spelled out in grass.
Class.
That's mad.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Brilliant.
Nice. All right, so on to the next thing. So Tom, as far as we've been told, you've got a few questions.
Out of all obviously there's loads of low-fly areas in the UK, the Maclube, you got Wales. Have you got a particular favourite? And if so, as well, what low-fly areas have you flown in the UK?
My personal favourite is LFA7. I love going to the Maclube. I tried to go as much as I could, any chance that I got, I'd go out there. Because, like I said before, I wanted to come here to Lakenheath so I could go fly in the Maclube. And it was a dream of mine and I wanted to make it happen. So I have to go with LFA7, but I've flown all over. I can't remember all of the LFAs, to be honest with you. But I know that most air crew would like to go fly in the Lake District. It's a little bit better terrain to navigate through, and there's a lot more options. But I'm a huge fan of LFA7 and the Maclube.
That's a good answer. Yeah, it's great to be to go up there yourself as a photographer and see. Yeah. Brilliant. So, what is your favourite part of flying?
Favorite part of flying, and it's going to be favorite part of flying is going to be more for all of the brethren there in the UK, is no matter what the weather is, when I get to fly, I get to see the sun. And that's something that's, especially you guys know, when you haven't seen the sun in 2-3 weeks, getting to go airborne and break through that cloud, and there it is, and the sun's there, and the warmth on your face when you haven't seen it in a while is for me, is the best part. And I get to come home and tell my wife and my daughter, I got to see the sun today. It's a nice feeling.
Like you say, that's a rare occurrence in the UK, especially at the moment. So
yeah,
I just got jealous of you saying that. So cheers.
Yeah, it must be great up there, and I guess, sunsets, sunrises, you must see some amazing spectacles up there.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's nothing like watching the sunrise at 30,000 feet. It's a true experience.
That's brilliant. So a question that I know a lot of people have been asking, and if you're okay to answer, obviously you fly with your mascot Scoff. Would you be able to tell people what the meaning behind Scoff is?
Yeah. So Scoff the duck stands for a saying that came from all of the briefs that I attended in every flight, upgrading and learning all the things that I've learned till now. And we train to a timeline on missiles, and we basically take intel analysis and say this is the missile that we're going to train to, and this is the most threatening missile. It's the most capable, so we go off a timeline off of that missile. So all of our tactics are based on the most threatening missile, but every engagement starts off beyond visual range and usually winds up with somebody going to within visual range combat. And we would always talk to, and all of our tactics are briefed off of those beyond visual range tactics. But when you get within visual range, there is a missile known as the Duck, the 10 Delta, that has been nicknamed the Duck. So we talk to all these tactics of this missile, and then it always ends with "Don't scoff the Duck," which is a very capable missile, but it's not the most threatening missile that we train to, but still a very capable missile within visual range. So it always was always said, "Don't scoff the Duck." And then I started flying with Scoff. I started flying with a Duck, and then all my friends said, "Yeah, don't scoff the Duck," and then it just stuck, and it's Scoff the Duck. So
that's class.
That's brilliant.
That is class. I like that.
I'm guessing by the way you were looking down on camera, you've got Scoff down there with you.
Yeah, Scoff.
There he is.
Scoff goes everywhere with me. So
most famous duck in aviation.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
The man himself.
The duck himself.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, he'd like to say hello, but cat's got his tongue. So.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, that's brilliant. No, thanks for that insight. That's really, really interesting.
Of course. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. So this is quite a more technical question. When you compare the airspace that is on offer in the UK and the US, is it similar or is it very different?
Oh, it's very different. It's very different. I got all my qualifications to become a pilot here in the States, and then went to the UK and had to learn a whole new set of rules. And it was different at first, but then with my time being there, it became comfortable. And then I came back to the States, and I've actually been struggling because it's a lot more challenging, in my opinion, to fly here with all the rules and regulations that we have here. But the best part and the easiest way I can explain it is that in the UK, we get assigned a military controller. So here, when we fly in the States, we're talking with all the controllers that are handling all of the other civilian air traffic. But in the UK, we get assigned a military controller that's all we talk to. And it was such an awesome experience because you would talk to these military controllers, and it would just be you and maybe another military formation on that frequency, and you didn't have any other communications going on that frequency, which allowed you to think a lot more, and basically gave you a lot more situational awareness, or freed up situational awareness elsewhere. So it was challenging to come back, because now you have to wait for all of these communications from all the other civilian air traffic before you can make a request. Whereas in the UK, I would make a request, and then the military controller would then talk to their civilian counterparts and clear up airspace for you and allow you to do, the maneuvers that we needed to do anywhere. Here, we have to be in certain airspace in order to do the maneuvers that we need to do. Whereas in the UK, that was another thing. As long as we weren't in what we call green airspace, which is airspace that's allotted for the civilian traffic, it's corridors for them to fly through, we could go anywhere in the weather and do what we needed to do. Where here in the US, we have to be in the airspace. And then a lot of the times in the airspace, we have to be clear of the weather, where it allows us, it kind of cuffs us to do a lot less than what we did in the UK. Now, I'm sure when all of my friends hear this, they're going to start arguing about which airspace is better. But me personally, I thought that the airspace in the UK allowed us to do a lot more and gave us a lot more freedom to train and do what we needed to practice.
Score one for the UK.
Definitely.
Class. That's really interesting, because again, these are things that we don't really know much about. So the insight is really cool. It is really cool.
Yeah, it was great. Like I said, it was challenging to come back and, oh man, I have to remember all these rules. But roll with the punches and figure it out.
That's it.
Right. So another one then. So obviously your call sign that you use, Pañic. How did that come about? How did you get your call sign?
So most people, you gotta buy them a beer in order for them to tell you your call sign. But I like you guys. So Pañic for me came from my first combat flight. I was in Syria flying my first combat mission at night, and I didn't have a whole lot of experience at night. And we are rejoining on the tanker, and it is the worst thunderstorms imaginable. And there's lightning going off all over. And I'm doing everything I can just to hang on to the wing of the tanker. And I mean, you look out and you could see the wings of the tanker flop as it would hit turbulence going through the clouds. And I made it to maybe 10 pounds of gas before I could actually get on the boom, or I would have had to turn back and return to base. But I finally, got stable enough to refuel, and then went into our cap, and we were capping in the north part of the country in Syria, along the Turkish border, and flying along, and I see a big flash, and I tell my flight lead, I go, "Hey, I just saw an explosion down my left wing line." There's a big explosion, and he goes, "Confirm you said your left wing line?" I go, "Yep, that's right." And he came back and he tells me, "You sure it was your left?" But yes, I'm telling you, I was looking this way and I saw an explosion. Confirm that was to the north. But yes, to the north, down my left wing line, I saw an explosion. That's Turkey in friendly airspace. And wow. Then we got through, and I was worried about an explosion that went off, and it was lightning that I was seeing. So, so I guess I don't know. I guess I'm a little jumpy sometimes.
I mean, to be fair, in that instance, I cannot say I blame you. I don't think there's many people that wouldn't right there and then.
I mean, people will call me a quibbler, but I swear I saw an explosion. But with everything that was going on, it probably was lightning.
Well, to be fair, with you saying that you got to be bought a beer to tell us that, now that you've told us, we all owe you a beer. So if we ever manage to catch up, the drinks are on us.
Don't forget Coors Light.
Yeah.
We'll remember.
Tom, have you got a couple more?
Yeah, I've got a few more. So obviously, like what we touched on, just pilots, you fly day and night, you fly all weathers. Do you have a preference? Do you prefer to fly in the day? Do you prefer to fly in the night? And are they different?
Oh, yes, absolutely different. I didn't have a lot of experience flying at night, but on both deployments, I was a night flyer. I volunteered to fly on the first deployment at night, and then I realized how challenging it was. And again, this is in a deployed setting. I volunteered to fly at night because of how challenging it was, and because of that first deployment that I flew entirely at night. It made me such a better aviator in terms of you lose so much situational awareness of what's going on around you without seeing the horizon, that it forces you to rely a lot on instruments and your brain, and it makes you have to think a lot harder. So I realized on the second deployment, I volunteered at night to fly at night because I knew how challenging it was, and I would much rather put myself in that situation than, one of my wingmen that would also have to fly. And everybody's capable of flying at night. Not to take away from anybody else, but I just know that it's more challenging and want to make it easier and try to be a bro and help out somebody else in the squadron. But that being said, in a deployed setting, I like to fly at night. But I mean, nothing beats clearing a million from the surface to the sky, seeing the horizon, going upside down, going crazy, and doing whatever you like. But in a deployed setting, I like to fly at night. But here in training, I love to fly and see the sun and take it for a spin.
Nice.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. And then I'm going to ask one more. Obviously, you've been at Lakenheath, and we all know through social media there's a massive fan base for you guys, Lakenheath, the pilots, one of you, the photographers. And obviously you haven't been based there. Do you have a particular moment that stands out to you, like your most memorable moment?
Yeah, I definitely do. My most memorable moment in Lakenheath, and I hate to be a downer, but the most memorable moment I have in Lakenheath was on June 15th of last year. When Cage Allen went down. I was one of two. I was in the first formation that took off when Cage Allen went down. And we were starting up for a training mission, and then they told us that we were going to go out and perform search and rescue. And it was one of the most challenging sorties that I've ever flown. And the most memorable moment that I have in Lakenheath was coming home to my family. And because it was one of those things that, it really is a dangerous job. And it made me appreciate life. It made me appreciate that I get to come home. And that was my most memorable. I've had tons of memorable experiences. It was an amazing time at Lakenheath, but that was the most memorable experience that I had. And that is one reason why SCOF is so important to me. I went on 2 deployments at my time there at Lakenheath, and I realized that, my daughter, by the second deployment, I had been gone for half of my daughter's life. And I didn't want my daughter to think that I lived through a telephone. So the second deployment, I took SCOF so that I could, I could relate more with my daughter because she loved SCOF so much. And she would go crazy. She would love to see SCOF and everything that her and her dad were doing together. And after Cage went down, it was I hadn't flown with him in training. So I took him up one day, and I knew maybe a picture was going to come out, and I was completely humbled with everybody that started talking about SCOF and realized, that SCOF meant more than just a mascot. SCOF meant more than, just a symbol. SCOF's job was to keep me safe, because my job was to bring SCOF to my daughter home every day. And it's become such an emotional experience. Every day I walk through the door and my daughter runs up to me and says, "Daddy," and then she goes, "SCOF," and she asks, "SCOF, how was your flight today?" So it's been a great experience.
I mean, just before we carry on, just obviously on what you've said there, our thoughts are obviously still with Cage Allen and his family. It can't have been an easy time, and we hope the family are doing as well as they can. Thank you for that.
Man, that hit hard, that did. I mean, I've got a little boy and I've got a missus, and I'm nowhere near anywhere what you guys do. You guys do an absolutely incredible job day in and day out, whether you're boots on the ground, you're on the water, or you're in the air 24/7. You are looking after us normal bobs that are just on the ground. And hearing that one story has really hit hard. And I just want to say, from all of us, a massive thank you for everything you do. The sacrifices that you guys and girls do on a daily basis is incredible, and it is an honour. And I just want to say thank you for
thank you. I appreciate it. I know everybody in the armed forces appreciates it, and it's tough nowadays. More people in the armed forces need to hear that appreciation. So thank you. And thank you guys for all your support.
Our pleasure.
Absolute pleasure.
Right, I've got some questions that have popped up from the Lakenheath enthusiast Facebook group. You probably know, because quite a lot of your pictures are on there. With you and SCOF. So the first one's from Craig Starbridge. I think we kind of touched on this one a little bit. What was your favourite thing about flying in the UK?
My favorite thing about flying in the UK was the enthusiasm, the passion, the love for flying from everyone all around. It was such an amazing experience, seeing so many people be involved and wanting to know and taking photographs, asking for swag and patches and shirts. It was awesome. And that's one of the things that I'd like to apologize in advance to all my followers for SCOF, is that we don't have that enthusiasm here. So I promise you, SCOF's doing well, and I'm hoping to get back and posting a lot more photos for everybody that loves to follow him. But it was amazing. That was the best part. Was all the enthusiasm.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Next question is from Clive Meir. Do you still feel sick when pulling G?
No. No. Matter of fact, as a pilot, you only have a certain amount of flights when you go through training, your initial qualification, in order to get your wings. You only have, I think it's 5 to 10 flights where you're not allowed to get sick. And they either have to put you through a specialized training to try and get you to not get sick, or they have to reclass you, because if you can imagine, trying to control an aircraft and recover it safely, you don't have the time to be sick. Now, I always try to tell people it's kind of like driving in a car. If you're riding in the passenger seat and you're reading, or you just naturally get car sick, most people that get car sick in the passenger seat, they don't get sick when they're driving. So it's usually a lot easier as a pilot not to get sick after a while. But pulling G's, I'll tell you, you will get sore. There are a lot of times where you get kinks in your necks and your back will start to be sore. But nothing. A little bit of stretching and Advil won't help.
Nice.
Just out of curiosity, what's the most you pulled G-wise?
8.9.
Oh,
impressive. Impressive.
Oh.
The Strike Eagle, she's a beast, but she's got a lot of drag on her. She's chubby. She can't sustain that amount of G's for very long, but she can definitely touch it. So
that's class.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
And then one final question is coming from a follower on Instagram, from lr.zn photography. What has been your favourite ride in an F-15?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Oof, favorite ride in an F-15. To be honest with you, I can't answer that. That they're all awesome. They're all amazing. It's a blessing to fly it every day. But I will say that any good ride in an F-15 is one where you get to come back. So I love flying it, and there's just so many that I have. There's so many memories that I have. I got a lot of time flying it, and I love every hour out of it.
Good answer. Good answer.
I mean, if you want to talk, another couple hours, I could go on. But there's so much time I've spent. I love every minute of it. So.
Yeah. No, fair play. I mean, like I say, we did receive quite a few questions. To those of you who did submit questions that we didn't ask, we apologise. You never know, maybe we'll catch up in the future again for some more questions. But obviously, otherwise, this would be a 3-4 hour long podcast.
Like I said, I love to talk a lot, so I would be more than happy to come back. And I love talking about what I do, and please feel free to. I'm not shy.
Yeah, no, class. Nice one. Well, we've got a couple more. Well, we're going to see if we've got a couple more questions for you, and then after that, we're going to see if you've got any questions for us. My question for you is, obviously, it's weird because I'm asking a fast jet pilot questions. But my question to you isn't about that. I'm going to ask you about air shows. So have you been to many in your time as a civilian, and do you have a favourite air show to attend?
Absolutely. Yes. So I talked about how I grew up wanting to always look into the sky, wanting to, be an aviator and take to the skies. Seymour Johnson offers an air show. I'm not sure if it's every 2 years. I know that this year's was canceled, obviously. Yeah. But they offer an air show called Wings Over Wayne. Wayne County is the county that Seymour Johnson is based in, and it's called Wings Over Wayne. And I have a very, very vivid memory of being about 10 years old and going up to an F-22 demonstration pilot in front of a static display, and him telling me as a 10-year-old boy, I did it, you can do it. And it was such a motivational, experience in my life that has always stuck with me. And then when I was in the basic qualification course here at Seymour Johnson 4 years ago, learning how to fly the Strike Eagle, they had the Wings Over Wayne air show. And I was luckily there to basically man a static air show, or the static display. And I felt like a 10-year-old little boy still standing there under the Strike Eagle, watching the demonstration go on. So I if you guys ever get the chance to come here to North Carolina, please, I would love to be a host and for you guys to stay with me and come watch the Wings Over Wayne air show here in North Carolina.
Sounds spot on to me.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah, thank you. That sounds epic.
Ben, have you got any questions for Pañic?
This will probably be a tough one. If you didn't get to pick, or I don't know how it works, if you didn't get to fly the F-15, what other aircraft would you want to fly and why?
I've thought about this a lot, and really what it comes down to is anything in the Air Force would have been an amazing opportunity to fly, because we're such a team. We require every asset is important for one reason or another, and we need the assets that we have. And it would have been an amazing opportunity to fly in any asset that the Air Force has. I mean, I have BFM'd against a Raptor. I would love to tell you that I'd love to go take one of those for a spin. I would have loved to fly the SR-71. I could go on and talk about all my favorite airplanes, but the truth is we're all a team and we need every single platform that we have available. So awesome. Good question.
Yeah, very good question. Tom, have you got any more, mate?
So yeah, actually talking about favourite aircrafts and what have you, what aircraft have you flown aside from the F-15?
So most of all my flying experience has been with the Air Force. In order to get to pilot training, you have to go through introductory flight screening. And we fly, I don't know, maybe 6 hours in a Diamond DA-20. Is a 2-seat airplane with a lawnmower engine. That was an experience. I have flown the T6 Texan 2, the T-38, nice. And then the Strike Eagle, and then I have maybe about 6 hours in a Cessna 172. I'm hoping to get some more civil aviation experience and go flying. And, someday I'm hoping that I'd get a nice little plot of land with a grass strip and my own, fleet of planes to go out and fly around for fun.
Nice.
That'd be great. Yeah.
I still think it's magic how a helicopter flies, but someday hoping to get called in some kind of rotary aircraft.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Or maybe an in-between, maybe go for an Osprey or something like that.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Class. Pañic, we're going to do a little switcheroo here. Have you got any questions for us?
Yeah, Tom. So I've been following your run for cancer research. And I'm just curious what inspired you to do that.
To be honest, it came about a couple of weeks ago. I was just sat there having an email. I just thought, I want to do something different. I'm hoping to get into the Royal Air Force at some point, and obviously fitness is a key part. You have to be fit. And I thought, what can I do to keep me motivated to keep fit, but also help others? And it's something that's quite close to my heart. There's a few family members who we sadly lost to it. And I thought, I want to do something. I want to give something back. I'm going to set myself a challenge that, that will benefit me, but that can also benefit others. So that's when I decided that's what I wanted to do. And it's going good. It's going all right so far. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm sorry for those that you've lost, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Brilliant. Thanks.
I wish you luck. Yeah. What is the first thing that you want to do when lockdowns lift?
You know what? It's a weird one because I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I have actually managed to keep myself as busy as possible during lockdown. I'm technically, in a way, a key worker anyway, so I'm an electrician. So I've been working through the whole thing. But at the same time, on top of that, I've started going into other things. Just trying to better myself and my future. It's something that I'll talk about at some point soon, but I've very recently become part owner of my local reptile shop because it's a big passion of mine as well as aviation. I've got another private podcast about reptiles and things like that. I'm into photography.
Awesome.
I'm trying to do, trying to get my name out there for maybe some wedding photography. I'm just basically trying to, expand on things I enjoy and just trying to better things for my future. So that's what I've been doing during lockdown. As for when lockdown ends, it's going to be something simple. Obviously on the one hand, it's going to see my family because they're in London and I'm in Devon. But just, for me and my fiance to go to a restaurant together and sit and have dinner out in public in a nice environment with someone cooking our dinner for us, have a little drink or two as well. That's up there on the list for sure. So aviation wise, I need to get to an airbase for sure.
Yeah.
But that's probably my answer for that, even if it was quite long-winded.
No, that's awesome. Congrats.
Cheers.
You're the classic Renaissance man, yeah?
That's it. Yeah.
Ben, where's the best place to get a pint?
Oh dear.
Tough one for last, yeah?
Yeah, that's a tough one. It depends what your tickle is, really. I mean, down where I am, I'm on the seafront. I've got a beachfront, so there's quite a few bars down there. I don't know if you've ever visited one. There's a chain called the Wetherspoons. If you ever want to go for a cheap night out and drink lots, then a Wetherspoon's your place to go. Cheap pints, and you can get blotted pretty quick. But myself personally, and there's not many of them around anymore, I prefer a proper traditional English pub where you go in and there's an open fire and you've got a barman or a barwoman behind there and it's rustic. There's no, we can serve you a 3-course meal. It's just a packet of crisps, some pork scratchings, and just sit there and that's what I like. But a rustic pub really, or just go and take a couple of cans or some bottles and go and sit with some friends and just chill out, and especially during the summer, it's nice.
Yeah, right on. That's one of the things that we miss most about the UK is the rustic pub feel, the ambiance. So, but Wetherspoon, I'll definitely when I get back, I'll definitely have to go there.
There's plenty of them, mate. There's plenty of them. There is plenty of them.
I mean, I'm 17. I can't comment.
Class.
Oh, brilliant.
Nice one. Right, well, gents, if that's it for questions, I think that just about gets us back to base after another flight. Pañic, we hope you and Scoff have enjoyed it and that there wasn't too much turbulence. But it's been an absolute pleasure, so thank you.
Thank you. It's an absolute honor. I can't tell you how humbled we are, the whole family, for everybody and everybody's support and enthusiasm. We from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate it. Thank you. And please, like I said, I'm not shy. If you guys ever have any questions, please reach out, and I'd love to be back whenever you guys have me.
Awesome, thank you. We'll probably take you up on that because I'm sure we've got more questions. But
2 thumbs up, too easy.
That's it. Well, before we do get going, we'll just go around the group so you can find us all on social media. Obviously, Pañic, feel free to give away as little or as much as you please on this one. But Ben, social media handles, Instagram, Facebook.
So yes, same as normal for Facebook and Instagram. It's Ben's_aviation_photography, and that's both Instagram and Facebook.
Nice one. Tom?
Yeah, Instagram is aviation._photography, and Facebook is tom.whitworth.photography, I think. Yeah, I don't know my own username. I do apologise.
It's probably not ideal, mate, but yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to link you somewhere.
That's it.
Obviously, Pañic, this one's completely up to you, as much or as little, or if Scott's got a page, feel free to let us know what it is.
No, absolutely. Scoff's Instagram is Scoff the Duck, one word, SCOFFTHEDUCK. And then he also has a Facebook page, Scoff, one word, space, and then it's The Duck, one word. So feel free to follow us. And like I said, I apologize. It's been a while since he's been around to post, but I'm hoping that he'll get posting here soon.
Yeah, no worries. No, that's cool. Thank you. Right, so again, thank you for joining us on episode 4 of the Avgeeks Assemble podcast, and thank you to everyone listening. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we did, because it has been fantastic. Please drop us a DM on Instagram or join the Facebook group if you want to give us any feedback. Just let us know, because the feedback has been really good. So keep it up, whether it's, positive or negative, all that sort of stuff.
Criticism.
Or constructive criticism, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, just let us know. So in episode 5, we will have another special guest. We will talk more about that on our Facebook and Instagram at some point soon. We'll start giving out little hints or whatever on who we're going to have. The only hint we'll give you so far is they are part of the Royal Navy. So that will be a good one as well. What we'll do is, once we've let a little bit more go, you can start sending us questions as we've done for this one. Again, DM us on Instagram, AvGeeksAssemble, or start a topic on our Facebook group for you to post your questions on. So thank you again for this week's guests, which are Andrew and Scoff. We look forward to seeing you back at Lakenheath maybe one day, or you never know, we might take you up on the offer and see you out there stateside. But yeah, again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Pañic. It's been a pleasure. And for everyone else, stay safe out there, and we will see you at the fence.